Alright, looks like the stream is running. Hi everyone, TigerHawk23 here. I'm going to do Python stuff now. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up, this part in the loot parser dealy. I'm going to first save as part 14. Okay, and change this. Hello? Oh, it's retrieving that from the hard drive. Great. 14. Let's see. Notice how I have a datetime.datetime.now regardless. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this up to here. Now equals that. And min date equals that. If it is present, then then localize it and localize it. Great. Let's actually move this up here. Alright, very cool. We have the now, the min date, and the year. If we have the TZ local to work with, then localize it. And then I need to import TZ local in here. Actually, I will do this. That's what I'll do, because I don't know if we'll be working with it. Else true. And then it was in get filters. Here we are creating a datetime object, but it is not necessarily time zone aware. And by not necessarily, I mean it isn't. So we got to do that if necessary. It's this, if tc local present temp var equals what's that? Dealy. tc local dot get local zone dot localize temp var. Okay. And why we need this is I was using the parser yesterday-ish, and I thought, let me show you the command window. I was like, this tiny fraction of a day here without much stuff, let's omit that datum and use min date to do that, right? Well, I entered a min date of the 16th, and it exploded. It is inside out. It has exploded. Can't compare offset naive and offset aware date times because I had created this one as always being time zone naive or offset naive, and the other ones I had TZ local present, right? TZ local. So I was doing time zone offset aware date times, and you can't compare those. It doesn't work. It won't let you. So let's save this. We have that, save, etc. Okay, that should work better, and I think that's the only time I need to do that. Date time whenever I make a date time. I know this is the items date time that I'm just retrieving and printing, not creating. And this is formatting a date time, so the time zone doesn't matter. Same thing, formatting it. Okay, very good. Let's run it. GUI with the thing, let's do that. DK enter, and let's populate that daily. 37 log files, very good. Let's look at gain item being dilithium and only dilithium. And how about totals by day? So we have 626 there, and now let's add min date of 2016 5/16. Very good. And do it again. Totals by day. And now it only goes from the 16th and doesn't give us a big honking error. So that's good. That's why you test your code in every way you can think of. Because sometimes things break and that's bad. You need to fix them. So I had just basically forgotten to use localize times wherever it was necessary. But now it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Close that. Take out that. Take out that. And do you know what we have left to do now? After 6.5 minutes of fixing stuff? Docstrings! Hooray! Look at some of the other code I've written. Look at that stuff. Look at this. Look at this. Look at all this green commenty stuff. This is 3,000 lines, and pretty much all of it is commented. So, for one line, I have 2 lines of comment. Comment, comment. This is a chess game, by the way. You can see from the title is chess. But this is what I generally do. Explain everything that's happening. I will not be doing that for this, because I don't want to. But I will do docstrings, because that's a basic thing to be doing. Container from logs. This has the expression, makes a container. And location is the file name. And what does this do? This yields? No, this creates a container. Creates a container object. And this actually parses. Parses log files from, starting from the given location, and creates loot, creates a, does it return it? Yeah, returns a container object to hold the created loot objects. Very good. Objects, typos, yes. Very good. Parameters. Location is a string, and what does it do? It is the location of a pasted log, or the location of the first chat log to be parsed. First chat log in a series. Okay. CP is a bool, or it can be a number or whatever. Anything truthy or falsy, I really don't care. You can send it none if you want it to still be false, or you can send it the number 9, or the string hello world. Doesn't really matter, but I'm going to call it bool. And it is whether the parser should read a single log file with the I want to do this. Let's do that. There. Whether it should read a single log file with the copy paste syntax rather than the default behavior of Notepad++ is was not developed in the United States. It uses British spelling and dictionaries. Instead of EN-US, it's ENGB. So it says this is wrong. It should be behavior. But I'm gonna add it to the dictionary. Now it's right. Learn American program. Come on. There we go. Of reading every log file from the given one and using the chatlog1, the saved log file syntax. Okay. How do I do a return value? What's the little... I have a format for stuff that I use. Parameter, does any of this stuff return things? I think it does. Attributes, no. Oh, that's also something I should do. Generate a moveset. No. None of these have a return, do they? Let's actually search for def. Does this. Does that. Parameter, does this, does whatever. Pops up one of these, pops up one of those, starts the animation, animates, creates. I want something with a return method. Return method with a return. Wow, that's a lot of that's a lot of parameters for that function. Whatever. Do I just say returns something? None of these have return values for me to do stuff with. This one doesn't have a docstring at all. That's cool. No, it isn't. Do these really not have any returns? None of them? This doesn't have a docstring. Must not have felt like it. Yeah, these don't have, actually, shouldn't one of these have a thing? No, I think it just saves all of it to, instance variables. What does that stuff look like? I don't even know. Okay. Let's just do this. Returns a container object populated with loot objects. Okay, very good. Sufficient. Next. Get logs, and this just yields things, right? Yeah. Yields lines of matching lines? No, yields all lines. Yields lines of each log being parsed. Parameter is the same. Yields strings of something. Let's do the following. Return container object populated with loot objects. Okay, great. Returns that yields there's no name of what it yields. A container. Great. Populated with loot objects. Okay. Yields things of type string. Each line of each log being parsed. Okay. Container. And this has, what is this? A container that holds loot objects and has methods to analyze. This is going to be wrong, by the way. I believe. No? Did I already add that? I must have already added that one to the dictionary. Another American spelling. Anyway, a container that holds loot objects and has methods to analyze them. Holds loot objects and has analysis methods. Okay. Attributes. Bag. Anything else? I think it's just bag. Okay. Bag is a list. Stores all the loot objects. Okay. I don't think I need a what's it for the thing, a docstring for the init, whatever. This I'll explain. Let's add this stuff everywhere, shall we? Good plan. Let's do it. And this will be an easy indicator of insert documentation here. No, not over there. This, maybe? I don't know. String and repro? No. Okay. Let's do that. Add adds a loot object to to the containers bag. Parameter is loot, and it's a loot object. I'm not calling it, I'm describing it with English. Loot. The loot object to add to the bag. Great. Adds two container objects together. Parameter other, and that is another container. The container to add to this one. Okay. Returns a container. This object plus the container with this one's bag and the other's bag. Okay. Extend. What do we got? Adds another container's bag onto this one's. Parameter will be, spell it right, thank you. Returns nothing. Okay. Bool. Indicates whether there is anything in the container's bag. Good. Returns bool of whether the bag is non-empty. Iter returns an iterator, so we can iterate directly over the container. This is what this does. Returns iter an iterator for this container's bag. And get loot. Aha, that's a big one. The rest will be more interesting to write docstrings about. And what does get loot do? I don't even remember. Retrieves all the items in the bag that match the given filters, I believe. Yeah. No, it yields them, right? Yeah. Yields all the loot objects that match the given set of filters. Good. I always misspell parameter. I miss the first E. I don't know why. Filters. Unpack dictionary, I guess. No, star is the unpack dictionary. Let's do this. Unpack dict. Okay. The desired filters. Example, no, let's put that later. example, for item in container dot get loot, gain item equals contraband. That's an easy filter. Print item. I don't know. That's just an example. The desired filters. Great. Yields loot a matching loot item. Okay. What did I do for yields? Other stuff. Each line of log being parsed. Each matching loot item. Okay. Get winners. Yields loot events that were a lockbox win. Okay. Parameter is filters. Yields each matching loot item. That's the same. Filters each matching loot item. Okay. Returns the average value out of all matching loot events. Parameters this, and returns I think that's a float. Depending. Returns number. The average value for these loot events. Okay, very good. Event quantity. Returns the number of events matching the given filters. The number of events that match the given filters. Okay. Filters. Returns. Int. And number of matching loot events for these filters. Okay. Total value returns the total value of the matching loot events. I guess this is one of the functions that I don't know if it's super useful. I don't really do anything with it in the GUI. It's mostly internal, but whatever. Parameter this. Oh, there's one more here. Oh, there's one more above as well. Loss bool. Whether we want the losses instead of the gains. Instead of the default gains, very good. And this is parameters. Is there one for this? Yes. Let's put that in there. Parameters. Okay. Very good. Blah. Total value, and this is a number. int the total value of these loot events. Group by day. Aha, this is an interesting one. Group by day. How much more do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jeez, kind of a lot. Okay, let's do stuff. I'm planning on going out soonish, so I'm gonna write fast. Group by day. Yields buckets separated. Buckets of loot events separated by day. No, that doesn't work. Parameters. UTC is a bool. Whether to separate buckets by local calendar day or by UTC calendar day. Okay. Filters. And yields is a tuple. With the start date and the bucket. 2-element tuple. The first element is the day of this. It's the date for this bucket. The second element is the date time. Let's do tuple date time and list. The start date for this bucket and the list containing this bucket's loot objects. Okay. Next, totals by day adds up all the events in each daily bucket from group by day. Start with that. Parameters. There's also sales loss here. Whether to show the sold items in the results, because generally we don't. You sell garbage. So, yeah. If it wasn't garbage, you would sell it on the exchange, right? And that's not, doesn't produce the same kind of sale event. So this yields date time, dict and dict. Start date for this bucket. A dictionary of loot events and their values. Dictionary and a dictionary of gain loot events. of loss, loot events and their values. Okay. Very good. Yields the cumulative totals for each successive daily bucket from totals by day, and it has doesn't this need UTC filters? It's calls totals by day. Sales loss. How does this, don't we need sales loss in here? Cumulative totals. Where's sales loss? We should still have that. Or how would we do that? Oh, it's automatic, I guess, but how would we do sales loss equals true? That's the question. Let's do sales loss equals false. Yeah. See? Docstrings. It helps to write them. Because previously we had no way to specify sales loss equals false. If we did that for cumulative totals or average totals, it would just if we didn't specify one, it would be fine, and it would just end up with the default in here. But if we did want those sales losses, we could only specify them if we called totals by day directly. We couldn't do so in cumulative totals or average totals. It would just end up in the filters. We don't want that. Okay. Glad we caught that. Sales loss, UTC, filters, yields date time with a counter object. Right, okay. Start date for this bucket. And a counter holding the current cumulative total. Okay. Average totals. What does this one do? That's average by day. Oh, average totals. Daily averages. Item average value per day. What is this? I don't know what that is. Oh, that's for each item. Right. Okay, I get it. I get it. This is that one line average. Returns dictionary with the average daily value for each item, for each matching item. Okay. Paste, sales loss, UTC, filters, returns, a dictionary, the matching items with their average daily value. Okay. Counter, what does this do? I don't know. Is it used anywhere? In common, I guess. But do I do anything with it? I don't think so. Great. Counter returns a counter with the value of, I don't know. Value for item in this, for value in loss item, gain item. Returns the net. The net gain for each matching item. I'm just gonna copy paste that again and take some stuff out. All it has is filters. We don't really use this. Returns a counter. The items with their net gains losses, I believe. Yep. Value for, does this do what I think it does? I don't even know. It's the value. We go over the items in get loot. So that's going over the loot event. And we have the loss item and the gain item, if there is one. No. With the number of times. And why is this even a counter? Does this oh, yes, that's fine. It'll be like a string of contraband, and then a string of contraband, and then the string of dilithium. The number of times each loot item appeared. Each item with their number of appearances. Okay, very good. That's what that does. Common. Something like this, more or less. Turns a counter? No. Turns the most or least common item by number of loot events. Okay. Parameters, a bunch. Least bool. Whether we want get the least common item rather than the default most. counter send a counter object to avoid having to make it again. Filters, returns, and I think that's a string. The most or least common item by number of loot events. Okay. Double, I think that's the last one. Yes. Neat. Double returns a zip object with Dabo gambling losses and gains. Parameter is just one of these filters. Let's copy paste. Parameter only one. Parameter only one. Parameters multiple. Okay. Good, good. Returns zip. It's a zip object. Each loss and gain. Each loss and its corresponding gain for double gambling. Is that it? I think that's it. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. All right. Leave that in there. It's good. It's fine. Very nice. Okay. Neat. Let's save that, run it just in case. Populate. TK enters over there. Do this. Gain item. And I want totals by day. How about just the average for now? Is 1.44 million. And how about if we do item being the energy credits, and this will include the loss as well. And the average net is 1.2. So I spend, what do I spend? Loss item. Let me show you that as well. Kind of key. Average per day. I spend about 160,000 energy credits per day, and all I really do is, have I bought big stuff? Sometimes I buy a refugee duty officer now and again. Buying provisions for duty officer missions. Not really very much. I don't know. Let's look at the per day. Totals by day. 90,044. Sometimes I spend a little more, but it's generally somewhere within 6 figures. So 40, 70k, 100k, 250k, 280. Yeah, that's. But I get a lot more. So that means I net positive. Things I can determine with the loot parser. Neat. So it's working. Bugs fixed. It's cool. I will put this on GitHub with the latest commit. And probably what I will also do is package it with cxfreeze so that you can run it on a computer that doesn't have Python or tclocal or anything. and then you can just go and double click an exe, and it will all work. Is the idea. But I have to go. Thank you for joining me. I hope you like the loot parser, because I think it might be done. And I will see you next time with maybe more idle clicker stuff this week, and games, not our Marines, which I played yesterday. It's awful. So yeah, thanks again, and hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try out the loot parser, because it works and it's pretty cool. Also, you can test it out and tell me in what marvelous ways it breaks, because it's certainly going to do that. More testers, right? And I will see you next time. Have a good one.